5D Earth is here. All starseeds will finally be returned home. Millions, trillions of light beings are surrounding Earth to help you shift out of 3D. Hello, my name is Mahadeva. I am an Andromedan starseed ambassador to Earth. And I'm here with very important news. This is probably to date the most important video I've ever made. So if you're watching this, there is no mystery. You are a starseed. And we're going to be talking about what the history of starseeds are, how the whole Earth 3D experiment was created, why it was created, why the Ascension Event is happening now, and why it is so important that all starseeds be awakened and activated and be part of this process. I'm going to be explaining all of that to you. So I'm not going to go into the details of what a starseed is. In fact, 3 years ago, I'd heard the word, but I didn't pay any attention to it. I was focused on my meditation and my energy work, and I was still very much part of the narrative. And then over the past 3 or 4 years, with all the things that have been going on, I have had what people refer to as their red pill moment, but it has gone far beyond, what even the average red-pilled person thinks. In the past 2 to 3 years, I have been working on a daily basis with higher dimensional beings of light, both extraterrestrials from other galaxies, other star systems, as well as higher dimensional beings that don't have a physical body, as well as deities themselves. And as grandiose and as bizarre and unbelievable as that sounds to you, that's what it has been like for me as well. Long story short, even though we may disagree on what a starseed is and what all that stuff means, I'm here to tell you that that concept is in fact real. That it is true that there are people here on planet Earth who have incarnated on Earth at this specific time, who are from higher dimensional planets, higher dimensional planes, higher dimensional civilizations, and they have specifically come here to be here at this time for one main reason. And that main reason is to do what we are going to talk about on this channel. As I said, I'm going to be giving you the history that has come directly from these star beings that have told me things that I couldn't have even begun to imagine, and I have a completely different understanding of the history of Earth and the reason why human beings, and especially starseeds, have incarnated here. What you need to take away from this right now, before we get into all the details, and stay to the end because I'm going to give you some unbelievable, amazing, mind-bending information that is all about you and what you are going to accomplish right now. Before we get into that, I need to let you know what is most important in terms of how you can bring the 5D shift to this world. Every couple of days now, I used to do it, very infrequently, and then I started doing it once a week, and now I'm doing it every couple of days. I'm doing live guided interdimensional meditations to manifest the Solar Flash Ascension Event. I did this June of 2022, almost 2 years ago, and I just did it on a whim. This is after I had been contacted and been interacting with higher dimensional beings of light. I did, if you're familiar with it, CE5, which is Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, which is human-initiated contact with higher dimensional extraterrestrial beings. And the result of that was that a very powerful light being, who happened to be a mantis being, initiated me into a very powerful shamanic experience that I am still living through and expanding into this day. And he began telling me things about what is coming for Earth. I was given a vision of the Ascension Event, which I believe is coming very soon. And ever since then, I have been instructed in who I truly am, my identity as what we would call a starseed. He didn't use that word, but it describes it perfectly. And I became aware that this third dimensional personality, Michael William Denny, born 1963, Southern California, went to school, was an actor, surfer, and teacher of esoteric spiritual practices for the last 40 years. All of that is a fictional character that my higher dimensional self created to be in this three-dimensional video game we call life on Earth. And that's all that this is. It's a three-dimensional video game. And we came here, and I'll explain why we came here and the reasons for that. They showed me, these beings showed me, here's what happened, here's what your part in all of this is, here's what Earth was all about, this is why Earth is changing, this is why there are so many challenges and issues with the Ascension, and here's how the Ascension is going to happen. I'm going to take you through all of that. But the most important thing that has happened to me is that I have awakened to whom I truly am beyond this third dimensional reality. And for the first time in history, human beings are being given the opportunity to integrate their higher dimensional identity into their third dimensional avatar in this video game. This is something that has never happened before in the history of humans, and it is a very challenging experience. And so if you're a starseed, you may think that you may wonder if you're sane sometimes. The things you tell people, they think you're crazy. Well, that's going to start ending pretty quick. More and more people are going to start waking up. More and more starseeds are going to start waking up. But what I wanted to get to was that the most important thing that you can be doing right now is doing these live guided interdimensional meditations with me. So the thing to do is to come onto this channel, and it's great if you're here for the live streams. You don't have to be, but I come on here and I do these guided meditations live. And if you're able to be here for those, great. If you can't because of scheduling, no problem. It'll be archived and you can go on to the Thunder Wizard channel and you can watch it after it's been uploaded. And it'll still have the same effect for you and for the Ascension, because time doesn't work like that. If you're watching a specific video, even if it's days or weeks later, you will be shifted back to that time when the meditation was done. What's important is that you do it consistently. So as I said, come onto the channel every time I do these, or come and watch the recorded ones. Okay, so before I get into that, here's what needs to happen is that this channel needs to go viral. In order for me to be able to guide these meditations with enough power to actually create the shift, there needs to be a lot of people. I don't know what the exact amount is, but for all intents and purposes, this channel has to go viral, meaning there needs to be tens of thousands of views. There needs to be hundreds or thousands of people in each one of these meditations, group meditations at the same time, channeling this energy directly to Earth. And I've been told specifically numerous times by light beings that the Ascension comes because human beings make the decision to channel energy here. So if you've been waiting around for the event to happen, it's not going to work that way. There are things in process. The sun is doing its part. The galactic center is doing its part. It's going to send higher dimensional energy, but it is actually human beings with their intention and with their energetic focus on planet Earth that actually kickstarts and activates the whole process. I have been told that I am at least one of the people who is going to be orchestrating this. So the way that I'm orchestrating it and the way that I have been instructed to orchestrate it is by gathering as many people as possible and by guiding people into these interdimensional meditations. And in any case, you'll see what it is when you come onto the live stream. So before we go any further, the best way you can help do this is, of course, subscribe, like, comment, hit the bell button, obvious stuff. That will let you know when I've uploaded things, when I'm going to go live. I tend to go live right there on the spot, so it's okay with me if you need to wait until after it's been uploaded. But if you happen to be there and you get the message and I'm going to be going live, show up and meditate with us. It would really be helpful. Second thing is do the live interdimensional meditations as often as possible. This needs to be done consistently. Now, you're going to shift like crazy. You're going to get activated and your energy is going to go through the roof. But the whole point of that is that now you'll be activated and empowered even more so than you already are, to be able to give the energy to Mother Earth so that she can shift up. So follow and like the Path of the Thunder Wizard on Facebook. So I have a Facebook page, Path of the Thunder Wizard. Go there, follow that, like it. Every time I upload a video there, I upload viral videos there, and I put links there and post things. Take those things and share them on your Facebook, or copy and paste and put them on whatever social media you want. Get the word out there. Subscribe to the, share Thunder Wizard. Okay, share the video links and Facebook posts on social media. Subscribe to the thunderwizard.com Patreon site. That is here at thunderwizard.com. If you go there, you'll see my Patreon site. There's multiple ways that, levels of subscription. I recommend the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong, which you can see right here. You can pick whichever works for you, but at the very least, subscribe at the $5 level. And by the way, don't use your phone. If you try and use your phone to access Patreon and you happen to, let's say, purchase one of the videos, you're going to get charged a whole lot of money. So if at all possible, I know a lot of people like to use their phones, but the iPhone Patreon app doesn't work on a lot of things and they charge you extra money. In any case, that's there. Please take advantage of that. Browse the thunderwizard.com shop for advanced practices. If you're new to meditation, Qigong, take a look at those. There's things, starting at $10 and going up. So, whatever you can afford for the practices. If you're interested in learning that, great. If not, if you just want to join the meditations, the live guided meditations, that's fine too. But I want to give people as many tools as I possibly can. So check out the thunderwizard.com shop for advanced practices. Please remember that I need your support to keep this channel going. This channel is going to be completely dependent upon how many people are subscribed and doing these meditations. That other stuff is important too, but the most important thing is getting as many people onto these live guided interdimensional meditations as possible. All right, so now let us get to the history. This is the StarSeed history of Earth, the end of the Earth, the 3D Earth experiment, and the beginning of the 5D Ascension Event. So this information I'm going to share with you is not something I read in a book. This isn't something that I came up with years ago, and it's not anything that I've ever heard on YouTube videos, although if somebody else is saying it, it just means that we're both tapping into the same information. But this is information that has come directly from higher dimensional beings and what they have told me. And there's a lot of personal information I'm not putting here about what I did, things that I did to, help create this, and what other beings have done. I'm not going to get into any personal stuff, but just the reason why I'm mentioning that is because it's incredibly, unbelievably mind-bending and bizarre. And I invite you to allow yourself, when you interact with these beings, to find out your role in all this. You may find out you're far, 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 far more powerful than you ever thought. That's one of the things I've learned. So, before Earth incarnation, starseeds are omnipotent deities from other galaxies and star systems. Now, I use my words very consciously most of the time, and you heard me say in the present that starseeds are omnipotent deities from other galaxies, other star systems, other civilizations, other planes of existence. Again, your experience here on Earth is literally a fictional character that has been created. All of your responses, all of your feelings about yourself, you're good at this, bad at this, weak, all the pain that you carry with you, the feeling of isolation and loneliness, the feeling of being ostracized and pushed out of society, all the very real, perhaps abuse that you suffered at the hands of other people. All of that is a script. And even though the feelings are real, when you get beyond that and you awaken to who you are before you came here, all that stuff becomes, it doesn't go away because you're still a 3D, person, but it becomes so petty and so, frivolous compared to what's really going on. It won't have the effect on you that it has. So awakening to who you are will be hugely healing. So I strongly recommend that you follow what I'm going to say in this video. And if you come on to the live guided meditations and you go through them, I guarantee you're going to have an even greater connection. And things that you didn't even think were possible will begin to happen if you start doing this. So StarSeeds are omnipotent deities from other galaxies and star systems. StarSeeds sought ways to increase their consciousness and their creative powers. So what happened is those of us who were, by the way, if you're watching this, you're a StarSeed. Okay, I haven't met one person who's had the slightest bit of interest in this who wasn't. So just don't wonder if you are or you aren't, you are. If you're listening to me and something inside of you is saying, I need to listen to this, I'm interested in this, you are. Because if you weren't, you wouldn't want anything to do with this. You would have shut this off and said, that guy's nuts, and you would have moved on. Many people are doing that. But if you're at all listening, you are a StarSeed. So StarSeeds sought ways to increase their consciousness and their creative powers. So you were an omnipotent being. You were in, for instance, if you're like me, I'm an Andromedan. And again, I didn't even know anything about Andromedan starseeds. I was interacting with these higher dimensional beings, and I was told that I came from the Andromeda galaxy. I was told who I was there, what my role was there. I'm not going to get into that because it's just so crazy, unbelievable. But I was told all this information, and then I interacted with people from the Andromeda galaxy. I interacted with people who I knew in my life who had passed away, and they were there, and they said, yeah, we've been doing this together, and we're from this galaxy, etc., etc. And I was like, this is just absolute. I'd never heard anything like this. And I had poo-pooed all of the starseed thing, and then I started actually looking into it, and it turns out the description of an Andromedan is exactly who I am. And as it turns out, before I even knew what an Andromedan starseed was, I was told by higher dimensional beings that I was an Andromedan that came here for a very specific purpose. So we were looking for ways to increase our consciousness and increase our ability to create worlds. If you're a starseed, it's very likely that's who you were before you decided to come here on Earth. Groups of starseeds proposed different lower dimensional planets as laboratories of consciousness. So we wanted to empower ourselves to increase our abilities, consciousness abilities, and increase our powers of creativity. And so groups of starseeds started getting together from all over, not just Andromeda, but all over the place. The Sirians, the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, all the ones you've heard of and ones you haven't heard of. They all got together, and there were different groups, and we would come together in large groups, and we would workshop in small groups, and we started coming up with ideas for planets. and specifically to incarnate into. Now, the reason why we chose to incarnate into these lower dimensional planets is because when you're in higher dimensions, when you're in 6, 7, 8, ninth dimension, the level of power that you have and the level of bliss and peace, it's almost boring. And you really don't expand when you're at that level of consciousness. You really need to have some kind of challenge. You have to, it's like, if you want to, get big muscles, you have to go to the gym and push yourself and lift weights that are heavier than you're comfortable with and force your muscles to grow. Well, your consciousness is the same way. So you're already this huge, omnipotent deity conscious being, and you're like, how do I get stronger? Well, we've got to really make it more difficult. So we came up with the idea of creating lower dimensional worlds and to incarnate there at all levels, starting out as animals and making our way up through evolution. And while we're doing that, in between lives, we're tweaking, the DNA, and we're creating more species, and we're learning, what kinds of, physical bodies, what kinds of places that we live, what kinds of lifestyles, what kinds of things create more and more consciousness. And that's why there's been so many different animal species that have come and gone, because we've been looking for the perfect vehicle. We finally did find it. And on Earth, that is, we have these primate bodies that are very well developed. We have this well-developed brain. We have the chakras in our body. We have the 3 dantians. These are all multi-layered things. We have our subtle body, we have our causal body, we have our physical body, we have all these different tools that we've been creating for billions of years for this moment. And so it's been a lot of experimentation. And we chose to come here because we needed to have that pressure cooker which forced us to really see the limitations that needed to be empowered in our consciousness. You can't do that when you're in higher dimensional states because everything is so blissful, there's no pressure. You may have a flaw very deep inside. It's not really like a sin, it's more like, a place that you could learn more, and, you can't access it because you're so, huge and amazing and omnipotent. So we had to limit ourselves. And then to make it even worse, we had to forget. This, as it turns out, is the thing that created the most challenge, and this was the thing that was argued about a lot. Now, I know, based on what I was told, that I was, you can blame me if you want, I was part of the group that said we have to make this place as difficult as possible. There has to be a real danger of getting lost in it. There has to be a real danger of losing, your morals, your connection to yourself, because if that isn't there, people won't grow. So I know that I was one of those people that made that argument, and now that I know that, on the one hand, I'm really grateful because it creates such incredible consciousness if you're able to overcome the limitations. But at the same time, a lot of people are getting trapped, and a lot of people are having a lot of real serious pain and problems. And so, anyway, that's how that came about. And there was a lot of discussion amongst the different starseed groups about this. So groups of starseeds proposed different lower dimensional planets as laboratories of consciousness. These groups discussed whether Earth should be immersive illusion or more like other planets. In other words, what people don't understand, and I'm not going to get into all the details of it, what a lot of people don't understand is that when you get outside of the 3rd dimension, all of the other civilizations out there, there's no violence, there's no corruption, there's no greed, there's none of the stuff that we worry about. People worry about reptilians, and they worry about the Greys, and they worry about all kinds of other supposed extraterrestrial civilizations. But even if I give them the benefit of the doubt that those things exist. Those are happening on the third dimension only. And there's we could get into the discussion about what those beings really are, but I'm not going to take the time in this video to do that. But whatever your belief about, wars between different aliens, Anunnakis, all of that, anything that has to do with something that is oppressive, that is violent, that violates your boundaries, that causes you any harm whatsoever, like humans do, that is a third dimensional situation. Once you get beyond the third dimension, none of that exists. And that is what the majority of the multiverse is. What we experience in the third dimension is an anomaly. And it's because we, StarSeeds who chose to, decided we wanted to make this a very challenging place. And we knew there was a risk that it would create evil people. We knew that that was a real problem. And we knew that if we were choosing to incarnate, that we might become one of those evil people. And that, again, raised the stakes very high. Now, the upside is we've got people that have accomplished unbelievable feats of spirituality, Buddha, Mahavatar Babaji, if you believe in Jesus. Other beings that have done, saints and guides and enlightened masters, they have achieved that because of how challenging this three-dimensional reality is. So, apparently this was partly my idea, and, it paid off. The downside is, and I'm very sad about this, a lot of people have been really damaged and really hurt. But the good news, the moment that you're out of 3D, none of that goes with you. All of that is left behind in the third dimension. So groups of starseeds proposed different lower dimensional planets as laboratories of consciousness. These groups discussed whether Earth should be immersive illusion or more like other planets. After much heated debate, it was decided that Earth should be as difficult as possible. Some of the starseeds who incarnated became trapped in 3D illusion, and Earth became corrupted. So, the Dark Force elite that are running this world, they have a tremendous amount of power and they have a tremendous amount of knowledge. And while a lot of things that people have said about them is inaccurate, the feeling about it is true. So the feeling that we're being controlled by evil reptilians, that's actually not what's happening. But in terms of what it feels like and the practical reality of being controlled by beings that have a tremendous amount of power and a tremendous amount of influence and technology, just like, the supposed Anunnakis and the reptilians, even if that turns out not to be accurate, the part of it that is true is that there are beings with tremendous power, tremendous technology, and tremendous magic, and they are using it to control and suck the life force out of humans on this planet. That is a result. That is a direct result of the risk that was taken to come here. And there are those people, many of them are starseeds, who have lost their connection to themselves. That's why they're so psychopathic. That's why they are so destructive, and they are in tremendous pain. And that is a sad truth, but it does exist. And that has created a scenario which makes this Ascension event, and those of us who are going to be a part of it, it makes it even much more important that we do these group meditations. Let's continue. So some of the starseeds who incarnated became trapped in 3D illusion, and Earth became corrupted. The Earth experiment continued, and many starseeds achieved tremendous power. Everything that can be learned on Earth has been learned, and now 3D Earth is being deleted. So this was going to happen eventually. At some point, this laboratory 3D experiment was going to come to an end. There was going to, enough data was going to have been amassed, and then all of the light beings would know everything they need to know about consciousness and the third dimension. And by data, like when you do experiments, you're looking for data, right? Well, the data is in our lives. The consciousness experiment is when we come down and we lose our memory of the fact that we are these enormous, infinite light being gods that, create universes. We forget all of that and we come down to this limited, dualistic, third dimensional reality. And the data is what consciousness does when it goes up against the illusion that it's isolated, the illusion that it's unloved, the illusion that it's alone, that the illusion that there is no afterlife, that there is no God, the experience of evil, the experience of sadness, of loss, of pain. These are all data points. And so it's not accurate that there are false beings of light forcing you to incarnate. Because you were that being of light who said, no, I'm going to incarnate, and I know I'm going to forget, and I know it's going to be really challenging, but I also know if I don't do this, I won't learn anything. So if you want to get mad at false beings of light trapping you in 3D reincarnation, you're going to have to get mad at yourself, because you're the only one that has the authority to decide whether or not you incarnate. And I'm sorry if you've had a difficult life. I've had an incredibly difficult life. Some people have had it much worse than me. But that was your doing. And the good news is if you chose to be here, you can choose to leave. And now is that time. If you want to leave and you want to go back home, the way to do it is to do these meditations and get Mother Earth shifted up. If you want to shift up to 5D Earth, you can do that. If you want to stay on a slightly higher three-dimensional Earth, you can do that. For those that resist it, they're going to go to a lower dimensional Earth, and that will be their choice. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm choosing to go up. So I'm assuming you are as well if you're on this video. So the Earth experiment continued. Many starseeds achieved tremendous power. Everything that can be learned on Earth has been learned, and now the 3D Earth experiment is being deleted. All starseeds currently on Earth are being awakened and activated for the final Ascension Event. Starseeds are necessary for the Ascension Event to be able to channel higher dimensional energy to Earth. So let me explain to you what is going to happen. I've talked about it on the channel. If you're not new to the channel, you've heard this, but it's good to hear it in context of all of this. But what is happening is that when we do these, when I guide you to these higher dimensional meditations, these interdimensional meditations, what is happening is that literally every single light being from other planets, other civilizations, other dimensions, that isn't wrapped up in something in their world, any being that isn't busy doing something else in the multiverse, they are all coming here. Earth is surrounded by an infinite number of beings, infinite, and they are at all levels. There are, starting at the lowest level, there are 5D light beings who are physical, extraterrestrial beings from all over different galaxies, different star systems, and they're very powerful spiritual beings, and they're here only for one reason, and that is to help the Ascension Event. Now, many of them have been stationed here since the beginning. In fact, many of you listening to me have been an extraterrestrial. You know that. You're a starseed, and you have been here assigned to come to Earth to help human beings, which are starseeds themselves incarnated. And this is what the angels are. This is what the elves are. In fact, in my ethnic background, elf translates as light being. You may not have known that, but the word elf literally translates to being of light. So our ancestors were interacting with beings of light. They didn't have the understanding of other planets and star systems, but that's why elves were so powerful. Not the little Keebler elves, we're talking about actual beings of light. And angels, all the guides that have shown up, the ascended masters, the immortals, whatever it is, in whatever, in the Yoruba tradition in West Africa, the Orishas, whatever word people had for the guides, for the angels, that's who has been here. And many of them are physical beings from other planets. They're in a higher dimension, which means that every time they appear to a human is going to see them as a god or an angel or a demigod. And those beings up until this point have not had any need to reveal who they really are, because Earth was at whatever stage of evolution it was in. But now, at the stage that we're at now, we are a spacefaring people, and we're able to handle the concept of a physical being traveling in a spaceship from another planet. But they are not part of the third dimensional Earth experiment, which means that they are not down at our level. So unlike the gray alien abduction events, which are real, I'm not going to get into what those really are, but they're not extraterrestrials. They are a terrestrial event, and they're happening in the third dimension. You've been lied to by the powers that be as to what all that is. But my point is that we've got beings that are physical extraterrestrials that are in the fifth dimension and above, and they're working directly with us. And then there are beings in higher dimensions who may not have a physical body, or may be so powerful they don't need to fly around in a spaceship. We would consider them to be demigods or gods. When you experience them, they're extremely powerful, but they're so ethereal we can't necessarily relate to them in our present state. And then on top of that, we've got actual deities. Now, what's the difference between a light being and a deity? The only difference is that a deity is in such a higher dimension that they are no longer bound by any kind of a physical body or bound by any kind of temporal restrictions. And so that's it. I mean, if you were to go to your 9th dimensional, 10th dimensional state, which you do exist at, you would be a god. You would be a deity. In your 3rd dimensional state, you're a human. But we are transitioning. And right now, what's happening is that StarSeeds are becoming hybrids. The kind of hybrid I mean is not alien-human hybrid. You are becoming a 3D light being hybrid. I can honestly say I am one. And if you're having the same kinds of experiences that I am, you are also. But this is going to be the norm for all of the humans that shift up. We're going to become light beings. So this is what the transition is. So let's see, where was I? So all starseeds currently on Earth are being awakened and activated for the final Ascension Event. And what you need to understand is that all of these infinite number of different level light beings who are parked outside of Earth right now, they are here. They're doing all kinds of things, but one of the main things that they're here to do is to channel their higher dimensional energy through your physical body. Because as was told to me by my guide, my mantis being guide, he showed me that he wasn't able to send his energy directly to Earth because he wasn't from Earth. And I was able to. I stumbled on that. I'm not aware that any being taught me to do this. I just did it. once these beings came to me and opened me up and I started having all kinds of astral experiences, I just started exploring on my own. And I said, what's this? There's going to be a solar flash event and there's going to be energy coming from the sun to the earth. Well, heck, I'll go get it started. And I flew up and I went inside of the sun and I started sending solar energy to earth. And I did one live stream where I did it, group meditation with other people. And I honestly was just, I was just having fun and just trying different things. But once I did that, when I did that first, and you can still find it on my channel, it was June of 2022, when I did my first solar event, energy to earth meditation, whatever I called it. As soon as I did that, light beings showed up. I mean, there had been hundreds or thousands of them, and they were absolutely beside themselves with gratitude. They were so intensely grateful to me. They were thanking me, and I'm like, what are you thanking me for? What did I do? They said, you have no idea what you've just done. You have no idea how powerful this is. And then another being showed up not too much after that, a very powerful being. And he said, I'm giving you an upgrade. And he said, you are and he gave me this very lofty title, which I'm not going to share because it'll just be distracting, but I'm not the only one. You want a lofty title from a higher dimensional being? All you got to do is do these group meditations with me, and trust me, they will show up. At some point they will show up and they will give you energy. But what they need from us is they need us to participate in this. Now, this was what was supposed to originally happen. Originally, what was supposed to happen is that this was going to be a smooth transition. We did not anticipate the level of corruption and the level of, falling from grace that has happened. When we created this experiment, we assumed that at some point, when we got to the end of the experiment, that people would just naturally start waking up and the shift would happen naturally. Everybody on earth would just begin moving to a higher level in their spiritual meditative practices, and the earth would shift up. And that's not what's happening, obviously. So the light beings are here to channel their higher dimensional energy through us because they can't do this without us. The earth will not shift up if we humans do not send the energy. So the good news is you've got deities. You've got infinite powerful deities, gods, light beings that will be behind you, channeling, transmitting their energy through your astral body to the earth. And I already know this because we've been doing this for a while, so I'm not telling you something, this is what I think is going to happen. This is what I know is going on. I already know this is what is happening. I've experienced it. Other people that are doing these things are experiencing it. And, they're having even crazier experiences than me, some of them. So I know that this isn't just coming out of my fantasy or other people's fantasies. By the way, we are going to be having some group, where is that? I was looking for the thumbnail. We're going to have group Zoom meetings. You can go to thunderwizard.com and you'll see that if you want to sign up for that. And those are going to be people who are doing this, sharing their experiences, asking questions, sharing stories, asking questions of me. You can find that here at thunderwizard.com. Scroll around and you'll see the different options. There's a couple of different options for the live Zoom meetings. That's not the same as the live meditations. The guided meditations are for everybody. The live Zoom classroom discussion is just for people who are subscribed, who are doing this and they want to go, they really want to share their experience or learn from others or ask questions. Anyway, let's continue here. So StarSeeds are necessary for the Ascension Event to be able to channel higher dimensional energy to Earth. And then the last couple of lines. I have been activated to assemble all of the StarSeeds who volunteered to channel higher dimensional energy to Earth to create the new 5D Earth. This is accomplished through the group Astral meditations. So I haven't said this. I've been telling people on the channel for a long time that they told me what I'm supposed to do, and I'm not ready to share it yet. So this is one of those things. I'm finally coming out. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds, grandiose, and at this point, the level of crazy that I must look like, it doesn't really matter. I can't make anything a whole lot worse, but they've made it very clear to me that my job, among others, is to assemble as many starseeds as possible, and to guide people with my energy into these interdimensional meditations. And when we do that, we will, with our astral bodies, will be surrounding Earth, and the light beings are going to, this includes deities, angels, extraterrestrials, anybody that's outside of the fifth dimension is going to be around there with their very powerful energy, and they're literally going to be transmitting their energy through our astral bodies. Now, here's some good news. Your astral body is directly connected to your physical body. So this isn't an out-of-body experience. If these were completely out-of-body experiences, then that would set up a whole set of problems. Anybody who knows, if you have an out-of-body experience and you interact with a higher dimensional being, when you try and come back into your body, it can be very damaging to your nervous system, because your nervous system isn't prepared for expanding to that level of energy. But when you do the astral guided meditations, which means you're not, asleep, you're in a meditative state, you're still connected to your body. There's an energy connection to your physical body, and so your physical body in real time is expanding with this energy. So what's going to happen is you're going to be astrally out there. You're going to physically feel the energy coming into your body, but it's going to be your astral body that's going to be channeling the energy. And when you bring your astral body back into your body, it will be a seamless reconnection, because your nervous system will have in real time empowered itself. Now, it doesn't mean that you won't have to rest and recuperate, but anyway, the whole point of this is to shift your body. When we do these meditations and your astral body is out there, and I'm guiding you through all of this, what is happening is that your physical body is being shifted up. The DNA is going to shift. There are things in your DNA that are going to be activated. Your physical body won't feel the same. I mean, the level of energy that goes through my body all the time now is off the charts, and I've been doing energy work my whole life. So that's a lot of information to give. That's the starseed history of Earth. If you want to take a screenshot of that, you can. And again, I hope this has been educational and helpful, but the thing that I want most of all is that you are going to come and be a part of these meditations. And my hope is that this video goes viral. So send it to as many people as you know. Put the link wherever, put the link into other YouTube comment sections. I hate when people do that on my channel, but get this out to as many people as you can think of. And I'm going to take these videos and make viral videos out of them, and I'm going to put them on my YouTube channel as well as my Facebook Reels. And anyway, so I invite you to come along and be a part of it. If you just want to do the meditations, you're more than welcome. Subscribe, like, and comment to the Thunder Wizard channel, and show up or watch the archived live meditations. And if you really want to get your hands on some incredibly powerful techniques, which I now know why I've spent the last 40 years of my life synthesizing, practicing, collecting, and creating the most powerful energy practices in the history of planet Earth, I now know why. It's to empower starseeds to be able to do this very important work. And, if any of this is even a little bit true, it's guaranteed that we're going to shift the Earth up if we keep doing this. So I hope to see you on the meditations. And, if you want to work with me, or if you want any of the other tools that I make available, go here to thunderwizard.com and subscribe and check out the shop as well at thunderwizard.com. That's it, my friends. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you on the live guided interdimensional meditations. And yeah, that's it. Thank you all very much, and I will see you all very soon.